Hey there, fellow alien movie lovers. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the mysteries of your favorite movies. Today we're tackling Ridley Scott's Prometheus, a film that left us with more questions than answers. Ever wondered what the heck was really going on? Well, buckle up, because we're about to explore those unanswered questions. Let's jump right in. Alright, let's start with the very beginning. In the theatrical cut, we see a lone engineer sacrificing himself to seed life on a new world. But did you know there's an alternate version where he's not alone? Yep, in this take, our sacrificial engineer is joined by a group of his buddies, including some elder engineers who hand him the accelerant. This scene got cut for being too revealing, kinda like when you accidentally spoil a twist to your friend before they've seen the movie. But personally, I think this version sets up the world way better. We get a sneak peek into their hierarchy, their rituals, and it doesn't spoil the mystery at all. In fact, it makes you wonder, what else are they hiding? Moving on to those mysterious cave drawings. So Dr. Shaw and Dr. Holloway discover ancient star maps in different corners of Earth, all pointing to a distant moon. But here's the kicker. Are these maps an invitation to visit the engineers or a giant, glowing, stay away sign? I mean, think about it. They lead our heroes to a moon that's basically a weapons factory. It's like getting an invitation to a party, but when you show up, it's at a haunted house filled with traps. Were the engineers saying, "Come visit us"? Or was it more like, "For the love of everything, don't come here"? Now let's talk about Peter Weyland, the old guy who's secretly on board the Prometheus. From the moment the crew wakes up, it's clear these people don't know what they're getting into. Except for Shaw, Holloway, and Vickers, everyone else is just there for the paycheck. But here's what I don't get. Why does Weyland need to hide that he's on the ship? His goal is the same as Shaw's. Find the engineers and ask them some deep, life-changing questions. So why not team up from the start? Is he just a drama queen who loves a big reveal, or does he have another reason to keep things under wraps? Personally, I think he just likes making a grand entrance. Speaking of Weyland, let's dig a bit deeper. What does the Weyland Corporation really want? It's not just about finding the engineers, right? Weyland's obsessed with one thing: beating death. He's old, he's rich, and he's desperate. So he funds this mission, dragging along a bunch of scientists and an android named David who has a mission of his own. But more on that later. Alright, let's talk about that weird green goo David finds on the hologram control panel. It's not the black goo we see everywhere else. This stuff is different, almost like it's alive. David even calls it impressive, which, coming from an emotionless robot, is basically a standing ovation. So what's the deal with this goo? The engineers don't seem to ooze this stuff, and it's not coming from any creature we know. What if this is the blood of an alien we haven't met yet? Or maybe it's something even weirder. The plot thickens. And now let's address the elephant, or should I say the goo, in the room. What exactly does the black goo do, and why does it affect people so differently? Holloway gets infected and burns up from the inside. Fifield turns into a raging zombie, and who knows what else it could do. Here's a theory. This goo is like a starter kit for xenomorphs. It's the primordial soup that eventually evolves into those nightmare creatures we know from the Alien movies. It adapts to whoever or whatever it touches. But why does it work differently on everyone? Maybe it's because evolution is messy, unpredictable, and a little gooey. Next up, let's talk about Yannick, the ship's captain, played by the always awesome Idris Elba. At one point, he drops this bombshell. The moon they've landed on isn't the engineer's home, it's a weapons factory. But how does Yannick know this? Did he read the script ahead of time, or is he just really good at guessing? My take? Yannick's been around the block a few times. He's seen enough shady stuff in the universe to recognize when someone's cooking up a batch of WMDs. It's like walking into a sketchy warehouse and immediately knowing they're not just making smoothies in there. Alright, time for a question that's been bugging everyone. Why does David the android poison Holloway with the black goo? David's not evil, he doesn't have emotions, so he's not doing it out of spite. So what gives? One theory is that David's just following orders from Weyland, testing if the goo can make him immortal. But maybe there's more to it. David might have seen this as an opportunity to create something new, something dangerous. Something Weyland Corporation could use. Either way, it's not exactly a friendly science experiment, right? Remember that intense scene where David wakes up the engineer? Weyland orders David to tell him what I told you to tell him. And David says something in the engineer's language. What does he say? And why does the engineer respond by ripping David's head off? Here's the thing. It doesn't really matter what David said. The engineer's reaction isn't about the words, it's about waking up to these tiny, insignificant beings messing with him. Imagine waking up from a 2,000-year nap to find a mosquito buzzing in your face. Yeah, you'd be pretty ticked off too. Finally, let's tackle the big question. Why do the engineers suddenly decide to destroy Earth? Suddenly might be the wrong word, though. It's implied that the engineers have been disappointed with us for a long time. Like, hey, we gave you life, and you turned out to be total jerks. Some theories even suggest that Jesus was an engineer sent to check on us, and well, we know how that ended. So when Shaw and the gang wake up the last engineer, he's basically like, okay, enough is enough. Time to wipe the slate clean. And then all hell breaks loose. So what do you think? Did Prometheus answer your questions or just leave you scratching your head? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more upcoming alien movie breakdowns.